Leaks within the gaming industry have been pretty abundant over this past year. And with each leak comes a lot of surprising information. Let's break down the newest round of juicy leaks and new details. Up next. What's up guys, this is KLO and I'm here to give you the lowdown on all things gaming. And if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content. Drop a like on the video and welcome to the Level Up. First off, I want to say leaks are just plain bad. When they happen to these various companies, it often comes at the cost of years of hard work going down the drain at the push of a button. This past year alone, we got tons of internal document leaks from Microsoft, we got those massive GTA 6 leaks, and most recently, Insomniac. Now, this recent Insomniac leak was equally, if not worse, than the rest of the leaks mentioned, because this time around, these leaks included employees' personal data. But just as the leakers promised, the content that was stolen from Insomniac has been plastered online, seeing how Sony refused to cave and meet their demands. 1.7 terabytes of data was leaked out, and to kind of put that number in perspective, that made it one of, if not the biggest gaming leak of all time. Within the files outside of that personal data, full-on gameplay of the Wolverine was leaked, future planned games, and internal discussions around the Activision Blizzard merger were discovered as well. Now, a couple things here. One, I will not show any of the leaked info, screenshots, or whatever else, because that's just not the right thing to do. And two, today's video is kind of gonna be a change of pace, and it's gonna be one that's gonna kind of discuss Insomniac as a whole and what lies ahead for their future. Now, when talking about future plans within the gaming world, it's always worth noting things are subject to change. And when we looked at all of those concepts for consoles and all different types of hardware in that Xbox leak, Phil Spencer did say those plans have changed drastically, so that could be the case here too. So with that being said, what kind of games does Insomniac have for the next decade? Well, first up, a late 2025 date was listed for that highly rumored Venom spin-off game. And out of all the games that were listed, this does appear to be the one that's closest to its release date. This game, like I imagined, will be a smaller scope game, much like Miles Morales, which I think fits the style of this game very well. Now, I love me some Venom, and seeing how you can play as him in Spiderman 2, they got the groundwork done, so it's up to them to build upon it. Now let's move to the Wolverine. This release date is planned for late 2026, which does seem further out than most expected. It also brings into question what Sony's first party lineup will be over the next 2 years, seeing how this game alone was a major pillar that was slotted in for them. Now, I guess that Venom game could fill that void, but Spider-Man 3 is up for 2028, which really isn't a shock seeing how those last two entries have done so well. Now, 2029. Lord, that is so far away. Seems to be the year we're getting another Ratchet & Clank game. And in 2030, we're going to be getting an X-Men game, but in 2031 or 2032, a new IP is planned. Now, if you haven't caught on just yet, what's kind of scary to me is Insomniac over a 13-year period would have made 7 Marvel-based games, making them pretty much this Marvel game factory. And by this logic, if all this is true, that new 2031 IP would be their first new traditional AAA game since Sunset Overdrive back in 2014. Now, I get it, but there's two sides to the coin here. From a pure fan perspective, it kind of sucks to see them move away from games like Ratchet & Clank to churn out more Marvel-based games. Then the other half here is, hey, Marvel IPs make the big bucks, and they sell insanely well, so who am I to get mad at them for making more money? The sales numbers for Ratchet & Clank aren't near the numbers of Spider-Man 2. And I think the numbers came out recently for Ratchet & Clank, and that was like 2.7 million as of 2022. And those are numbers that Spider-Man puts up in just a day. But going even further back to Sunset Overdrive, that game only netted a $587 million profit overall. At the end of the day, personally, I'd love to get more original IPs from them, or just another Ratchet and Clank game, but looking at the business end of this, it makes all too much sense to push out more Marvel IPs. I guess I'm also looking for more of a balanced approach here, especially when it comes to their release methods. Instead of straight Marvel games for 2 years, how about for every Marvel game, we get a new IP or a returning one? But hey, with all that being said, I'm gonna pass this question off to you guys. Do you really have a problem with them focusing in on these Marvel IPs and kind of moving away from the Ratchet and Clanks of the world? I guess what I'm looking for isn't for them to remove Marvel out of this whole equation, it's more to find balance here. But that about does it here. I've been K-Lo, I gave you the lowdown on all things gaming. And if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content. Drop a like on the video, and this has been the Level Up.